Ladies and gents, so you enjoyed those highlights there. That's what you missed yesterday if you weren't here in person. And as you heard from our last guest, you have got to be here to experience it in full. But joining us here in the studio, our next guest is the lovely Katy. Katy, introduce yourself to our event tech audience. Tell us who you are and who you're representing today.
Hi, so my name is Katy Simkiss. I'm a senior account executive from Vfairs, #1 virtual event platform. So we basically do exhibitions, conferences, trade shows, recruitment days, all of your event needs basically, but virtually in our wonderful virtual venue online.
Fantastic. And how's, thinking about, a lot of people this year are going back to the in-person world. How have you found things from your perspective? Is there still the big demand for the sort of virtual event and exhibition spaces, or have you seen a sort of up and down in demand? How's it going for you guys?
So, unlike a lot of other companies, I suppose, we were doing virtual events before the pandemic anyway. Obviously, it did get a lot more busy during COVID. Did see a little bit of a drop, but we have found that the clients that used us during COVID, they found a kind of bigger audience. Okay. They've had a bigger reach, and now they kind of can't go physical because they're going to lose that audience again. So they're still keeping the virtual, but I guess hybrid events are a lot more popular now than they were before the pandemic.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that actually, because we've been talking to a few people about they used to do live events, then they had to do virtual events, and they literally can't fit the virtual event in a physical space. I know sort of a big award ceremony that we ran for years, and there was 600 people going. We did it online. There was 6,000 people coming, and we're like, we're not going to get all those people there. And it's very interesting, like you say, that there is that continuation of demand in the virtual space. So it's great that you provide that. And in terms of what sort of services you offer and developments, how have you sort of changed? Because I imagine, like you say, with that increased demand, you would have had to develop things, make things better, cope with that demand. What sort of new things have you added to the platform over the last couple of years?
Yeah, definitely. So I think as people have gotten used to hosting virtual events, they've got a lot more creative as well, and they want to make them bigger and better each time. So we're probably one of the most integratable platforms. So we do a lot of integrations, we do a lot of gamification, we work with a lot of third parties as well to allow our clients to kind of make their events bigger and better each time they want to. And like you said, about having the reach and a bigger audience. I live in southwest Wales, so if an event is in London, it took me 5 hours to get here today, so don't have that problem when it's a virtual event.
True. I say there's definitely pluses and minuses to virtual and in person. And in terms of, you said people are making things better and better. What are they doing online? Have you seen anything you just think that is a really cool idea that our audience might not have thought of? Because I say people are getting creative, they're doing things differently. What have you seen that you've just gone, that is a bit of a gem? So
we actually recently had a Halloween themed event.
Okay.
So it literally looked like a fancy dress party, it looked like a cauldron. We did a completely custom design for it, so that was something new for me. I've been working for Vfairs for 3 years, so I'd never seen anything like that, so that was quite cool. But yeah, I think people are just getting a lot more creative. Even the avatars, we can make them into different costumes, have different themes. Christmas parties now, we're thinking that's going to be a new trend, especially with companies that have got employees globally, like ourselves. We'll have a Christmas party online instead of obviously in person.
That's interesting, mate, because I started running virtual Christmas parties during lockdown, because obviously the live events couldn't happen, and we found there's a massive demand for that, and like you say, now the companies who would never physically get together, they are still continuing with that trend. There's literally one person in each country dotted all around the globe, so it's interesting that we there is that continued demand for those companies. And in terms of the show, how have you found it this year?
Really, really good. So this is my first time at Event Tech Live. Vfairs have been here previously, but personally I didn't make it last year. As you can probably hear with my voice, I literally did not stop talking yesterday. Really good, really busy. We've booked about 18 demos, which is crazy.
That's fantastic.
To the point where we didn't want to leave the booth because it was that good yesterday. So yeah.
Well, I was going to ask that. Did you get time to see any of the other content going out? Literally just talking to people.
Literally didn't see anything at all yesterday. So today we have a little bit more time to have a little bit of a wonder about. But no, really, really good.
I'll say, you come to day 2 at these things, especially with the awards last night. It's always a little bit of a slow burn because there might be a few sore heads this morning after a lot of celebrations going on around the room. So I say it's good if you can, go and take in the rest of the show. But in terms of the conversations you were having, what did you think of, the quality of people who you met essentially.
Yeah, so we've had some good conversations with potential partners, people who, like agencies who might present us to their clients. So a lot of new relationships, but also a lot of new potential clients as well that have events that they need us, to host on our platform. So we've booked in lots of demos for next week, the week after, and I've been able to meet up with about 7 clients that I've never met. I've worked with them virtually for about 2 years.
Yeah.
And I said, look, I'm going to be at Event Tech Live if you happen to be here. And about 7 of them have come down, met them in person, had a coffee, which was really nice to actually, meet them in person.
Yeah. I'd say, because as I say, going back to what we've been doing over the past year, we're doing sort of experiences for people who have been working together for 2-3 years. They've never met, and it's quite you feel like you know them online, but then actually you forget you've never been in a physical room. So it's a very strange experience, I think, for people at the moment. But I say, coming to something like this, it just gives you that opportunity, doesn't it, to invite your clients. Have you invited any of your clients down then specifically, or have they just come because they know you're here or they know it's a fantastic show?
Well, I just looked at who was sort of in the London area, and I sent about 15 emails out, and 8 of them were like, yeah, I'm coming to the event. A few of them have come down especially just to meet, to have lunch and coffee, which was nice. But a few of them would just happen to be here anyway. Yeah.
Fantastic. And in terms of the rest of the show, have you had a look at the content or anything? Are you going to nip in any seminars, or have you just been on your stand and not really seen much of it yet?
Firmly on the booth because it's been that busy, and we've just been wanted to make the most of it. But I think hopefully this afternoon we might have a little bit of time to have a little wander around and see a bit of the content on the different stages.
Fantastic. And is there anything that has just caught your eye? I know you've had a little bit of a wander around. Have you seen anything that you just think that's really cool and that you might not have seen before?
Ooh, good question. I know there was the virtual headsets, which I haven't had a chance to kind of go and have a look at, but I saw that. I know there was a booth down there that you have a little games console, so I was like, I might have to pop down there and have a little go on that, see if I can win a prize.
I feel like the last hour we're all just going to go and play on everything.
Get all the free sweets.
Well, yeah, free sweets, free pens, go and play on everything. I think that is the way forward. But that's about being back in the room as well, isn't it? It's going and having that interaction with people, going and having that fun. And I say it's nice to see that. I know you mentioned the creativity of your customers. It sounds like a lot of people are just trying to make things a lot more fun. Because as I say, virtual. I've been on a campaign for the last 2 years. Virtual events don't have to be boring, because I think when things first came out, and we did get locked down. I know I'm not meant to mention it anymore, but it happened, and people took online conferences or in-person conferences, death by PowerPoint. They put it on the internet, and it took a whole other meaning to painful, slow. And I say, is that what you found then with that creativity, that people are looking, making it a little bit more fun, a bit more engaging? Is that what people are after?
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of people just wanted to get something online to keep their clients happy.
Yeah.
But a lot of platforms are very 2D, they're quite flat, and it does feel like you're just watching a video. So with our platform, it's very 3D, it's very immersive, and you feel like you're actually at an event. There's 3D rooms that you can go and explore, lots of different games and lots of different features and functionality. So it's less flat, much more immersive, basically.
And if we come to your stand, can we have a play on things, or is it what have you got on your stand in terms of if we went and one of our delegates came and saw you, what sort of experience would they have if they come and saw you on the stand?
So yesterday we were promoting obviously the sustainability of virtual events and hosting virtual events with Vfairs. So we had lots of plants to give away to kind of go with that theme. We're running low on the plants now because they went down very well yesterday, but I think there's about 3 left. If there's 3 of you, you can have the remaining 3.
1, 2, 3. We're in.
If
boys,
not, I can sort you out with some sweets otherwise.
Oh, there we go. You're always welcome in the studio with free sweets and plants. That's what we like. And final thing, if anybody has never been to Event Tech Live before, I know you've had a bit of a shock to the system probably yesterday. I know you said you were just constantly talking. What are your thoughts on the show, experiences yesterday? What would you say to anyone thinking of coming in the future?
I mean, if you're in the event tech industry or you do anything like what we do, I suppose, it's definitely been worth it. We were speaking to our kind of seniors yesterday, telling them how successful it's been.
Yeah.
So it's definitely worth it. It's been a good laugh as well. Everyone's been nice. We've spoken to our competitors, spoken to partners, and just nice to catch up. So I definitely recommend it.
Fantastic, highly recommended. Good laugh as well, Katie. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
So, ladies and gents, we are going to go back to the main stage now. The art of analysing data for better event experiences. About to start. Enjoy. We'll see you back here very soon.